welcome back to the Daily Brew. So I'll be honest with you guys, I am incredibly proud of myself. I woke up today at 5. That is how hard it is for someone who typically was working nights for the past 6 months to wake up at 5 in the morning and have like a productive morning. It's unreal. I'm super proud of myself, but it's early and actually the lighting looks really good. So I'm like, we're off to a good start of the day. So I did a little poll and I love doing this. Honestly, I like when you guys tell me what you want to see because I have a ton of video ideas, but you know, I throw them out there. I film, when it comes down to it, I film what I want, but I do like to know what you guys want to see. So comment below and let me know what type of fragrance videos you would like to see in the future, or beauty videos or vlogs, or if you want to know anything about me or dating tips. Honestly, I really enjoy making YouTube videos and editing them. It's lit. Like L-I-T, lit. You guys wanted to see a video on some underrated fragrances and then fragrances I think are just super overrated. So I'm gonna put this disclaimer here because I feel like I need to. One of the things I love about fragrance is how personal it is. There is a fragrance for everyone. I feel like it's like food tastes. Not like everybody is going to like the same thing, and that's what's beautiful about fragrance. One of my biggest pet peeves, I think, since making fragrance videos that I've noticed on YouTube is kind of like this pretentious, snobby attitude when it comes to fragrances. You guys, I can wear something that is like $10 and I can also wear something that's like $1,000, and either one of those can make me feel like $1,000,000. I think that I've seen a lot of like arrogance and pretentiousness when it comes to everything from like pronunciation of the fragrance, like the cost. There's some people that like literally will just thumbs down a video because it's an affordable fragrance video, and I think that's ridiculous. Like honestly, you can be fabulous, and most of the people I know who are literally the best dressed and have like the best fashion blogs, or the people that I know in my life who just have like the best fashion taste and I actually take tips from, are people who literally started off getting their shit together broke, because you have to be super creative when you're working with very little. So these people typically have very interesting tastes and style, and I really appreciate that. This is a channel where we are fabulous, but we are also a humble bitch, okay? Let's think of myself. I will never like make a video just shitting on fragrances with no reason, or just being like, it smells cheap, it smells cheap. No, like I will tell you why I don't like them. So with that said, if any of the fragrances that you absolutely love is on the list of fragrances that I think are overrated, please don't take offense to it. I will give you an explanation as to why I think it's overrated in my personal opinion. But it doesn't mean that it's a terrible fragrance. It just means it's a fragrance that doesn't suit me, my personal tastes. And for whatever reason, I think that it's too hyped up on YouTube, on Fragnotica, within the general public. I just think it's just a little overdone. And I think that the fragrances I'm going to share with you guys that are underrated are really, 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 really good, and no one talks about them. With all that said, let's get into the video. So this is Ange du Monde, Le Secret et la Parfum by Givenchy. So this, to me, totally underrated. Like, very few people mention this on their YouTube channel. I don't watch a ton of fragrance reviewers, but the people that I watch, I haven't seen anyone mention this. And this is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If you like fresh fragrances, if you like sweet fragrances, if you like fragrances that are like very classy, different, if that's how you would describe your fragrance profile, you would love this. I feel like actually so many people would love this, but when I wear this, people ask me what I'm wearing, and people have like literally never heard of this perfume. This is a tea fragrance, has like white tea. I'll put the nose right here. I smell cranberry, a little bit of citrus. It's very fresh, and it's so not typical. I feel like a lot of fresh tea fragrances can be super typical. This is very interesting and different. It's nothing like the original Ange du Monde. I also have it. It's a lactonic oriental fragrance. This is not lactonic. It's not creamy. It's not very musky. It's more of just a really pretty, bright, like very delicious, sort of juicy tea fragrance. It smells, honestly, it smells like a very sophisticated Starbucks tea, like a very sophisticated Starbucks tea, but with a lot more added to it. I absolutely love it. I think that this is a really, really, really good buy. I don't think this is exactly appropriate for this time of year. It's definitely more of like a spring, summer, probably even fall fragrance. I think that it's absolutely beautiful. It's also a designer perfume that I think is not like super overpriced right now because it's not like incredibly new or anything. So you could find this particular bottle for probably around $50 US dollars. 110% worth to check it out. So the next one that I think is highly underrated is Elie Le Parfum in white. So everyone talks about Elie Le Parfum. I think that I've also heard a lot of people talk about Girl Now. I'll be completely honest with you guys, Girl Now is not my type of fragrance. It's beautiful, but the sweetness and the pistachio note to me is just too much. And for me, honestly, I feel like it's just a little bit juvenile, a little bit too young for me, a little bit too playful. This Elie Le Parfum in white is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, classy. I absolutely love the original Eau de Parfum as well, the regular Le Parfum, but that one to me is almost a bit incensey and churchy. Like literally the first time I sprayed it, I was around my younger brother. He's not young, by the way. We're both like adults. And he was just like, man, that smells like a church perfume. And so I couldn't agree more. Like it's super beautiful. It has like that orange blossom, but it's very churchy. This is a much better version of the original perfume. I'm really happy that I decided to get this little 10 ml. As you can see, for being a 10 ml, I've worked through quite a bit of it. I plan on getting the full size when I finish this. This is just absolutely like glorious, like beautiful, elegant, gorgeous. I imagine honestly a beautiful, classy bride wearing this. This is a wifey fragrance. This is also a little bit sexy, without being over the top, slutty, like seductive, which there's a time and place for that, okay? I do like those kind of perfumes too, kind of like the raunchy type perfumes. This is like a classy, it's like elegant, I would say. Absolutely beautiful, like white flower, orange blossom. You can smell a lot of the notes that are in the original Le Parfum, but it's sweeter and it's a little bit lighter and less in your face. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. If you liked the original Le Parfum, you would love this. So the next perfume that I think doesn't get enough attention is Maison Francis Kurkdjian Ciel de Gomme. So this is a very ambery, fresh fragrance. To me, there's other fragrances in his line that are super like talked about, hyped up on YouTube. A lot of people love them, but to me, they're just not the greatest thing that I've ever smelled. And honestly, they're not super original, especially at this point. You can probably guess which ones I'm thinking about or talking about, but this one is actually very original and very, very beautiful. It's an ambery scent. I'm actually wearing this today. I mixed it with Armani Coat Cashmere, but oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's just like ambery and bright and fresh at the same time, but warm. Like when it dries out, it's like warm and cozy. It's very sexy. It's definitely unisex. I feel like it leans not really middle of the line, just slightly more feminine because of that warm, cozy scent, but it's strikingly beautiful. That's literally the way I would describe this fragrance. It's just strikingly beautiful. This is the one I plan on getting full size. As you know, or if you watch my channel, I did do a review where I bought samples from his line and I reviewed the ones that I got, talked about the note profile, talked about everything. I think that this, honestly, is the one that I would buy. Out of all of them, this is the one to me that is worth it. Warm and cozy and beautiful and ambery and fresh at the same time. And honestly, I have nothing like this in my collection. And amber is one of my most favorite perfume notes, so I have a ton of ambery perfumes, but this is completely like a different approach to amber, and it's absolutely gorgeous. In general, this line is very underrated, and I've talked about this perfume a few times too many, I think, in my videos, but that's okay. And this is Salvatorre Ferragamo Signorina Misteriosa. So this to me is just like absolutely gorgeous, and I think that Salvatore Ferragamo does a lot of really, really beautiful, elegant perfumes. He does elegant perfumes very well, and he does sexy perfumes very well. To me, this is leading Femme Fatale. This was featured in my Femme Fatale video. It's a blackberry whipped cream, just delicious, sweet, sexy, dark, like also like kind of gourmand in a way, but not so much so that it's leaning too much towards cutesy. It's definitely like an elegant, very, very, very sexy perfume. And I can imagine someone wearing like a really pretty dark smoky eye, a black dress with like cleavage showing, but classy, you know? And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got blackberries, it's just delicious. Blackberry whipped cream, dark, gorgeous, beautiful, sweet. If you like sweet fragrances, I think this is one you should check out, especially if you like fragrances that have kind of like that creamy undernote, like lactonic effect. I think you'd love this. I think that this is one that not enough people talk about. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. I think this is a great gift as well, because this fragrance is not very expensive. You can get, I think, the entire set for around $50-ish. This is a really, really good Christmas gift, especially for a girlfriend, for a wife. I think that it's very likable. I think any one of these would be good Christmas gifts, to be honest. I think all of them, you can find them in sets. I'll have everything linked below. I'll try to look for like sets for Christmas gifts, and then also for like the single perfumes if you want to buy it for yourself. For me, I bought the tester off of Fragrance X, and I think it was around $35. That's what this is, the full-size 3-ounce tester. 35 bucks, you guys. And also, some of you guys have commented to check out TJ Maxx and Marshalls, so check them out as well if you can safely. I think that they also have a lot of these fragrances on discount. Okay, so the last one that I think is very underhyped, and this is one that I love. Like, I love it. It's definitely more of a perfume for like the summer and like spring months. Which, by the way, I think that the rest of them, with the exception of your Little Chic, can be worn year round. I think Elie Saab in white is definitely year round. Salvatorre Ferragamo Signorina Misteriosa. I think this is like a little bit fall wintry, but it can be worn year round too. I think this is definitely like summer spring vibes. So this is Bulgari Crystal Amia Eau de Parfum. I've also smelled the Eau de Toilette, and I'll get into that in a bit because Eau de Parfum is very difficult to find, though I plan on searching my Marshalls because you guys have given me the tip that you've seen this at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. So if you can safely go right now, I would say to check because this is amazing. So this is a lotus, like sort of aquatic musk perfume, and it's very different compared to a lot of aquatic perfumes. I feel like a lot of aquatic perfumes tend to be paired with green notes or tend to be paired with fruity notes. Very rarely, I think, I see aquatic perfumes really paired well with like lotus flower and white flower and creamy musky notes, and it actually turns out to be unique and beautiful. This is very gorgeous. It's like fresh and creamy and just slightly musky and just amazing. If you can't find the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Toilette is almost exactly the same. The only difference is the Eau de Toilette has like a little bit brighter. It has a little bit more of like the lotus flower and a little bit less of that creamy musk base. But for the most part, they're pretty similar. But yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. Anyone that I've recommended this perfume to has absolutely loved it. This is also recently a very complimented fragrance on me. Like, a lot of people love the way this smells on me. If you like Glossier You, if you like Narciso Rodriguez fragrances, I think you should check this one out. I think if you like musk fragrances, you would love this. I think if you like fresh fragrances, you would absolutely love this. This is not fruity or sweet at all. It's definitely just like a clean musk, but just very beautiful and elegant. I think I mentioned this too in my most elegant fragrance videos. My most elegant fragrances video. This is very elegant and beautiful, and I absolutely love this perfume. I don't understand why really good perfumes get discontinued. It still continues to make me angry to this day. However, if you can find the Eau de Parfum version of this, I would highly suggest that you try it. Let's get into the overhyped slash perfumes I think kind of are not the greatest. So the first one is Maison Francis Catejan Baccarat Rouge 540, and Ariana Grande Cloud also gets thrown in there because people seem to think it's a dupe, although I don't really think it's a perfect dupe. It's, you know. So to me, I have the sample of it. I've worn it. I actually have the Extrait de Parfum, so like the strongest version and the probably most perfected version of this fragrance, and I just don't find it that great. I honestly think that if I'm going to spend $300 on a perfume, because that's what it goes for, is between $200 to $400. I think up to $600 depending on the size of the perfume that you buy, which is honestly pretty standard for a lot of these upper brand niche fragrances. However, if I'm going to spend that much, I really want the perfume to be very interesting and very different, and something that I can't find in a designer fragrance. I own Burberry Her, and I've smelled the Burberry Her Intense as well, but I prefer the original. I just think that it's made by the same perfumer. It's almost exactly the same, with the exception of Burberry Her is a little bit sweeter and has like the beautiful berry note into it. And I think that the berry note is what makes it interesting, because I honestly feel like Baccarat Rouge just smells like a sweet Band-Aid on its own without anything else that's much interesting. And I don't really like it. Maybe because also like I come and I work in the healthcare industry, and I've smelled like, it smells like, honestly, when, I don't know if any of you have come across a situation where you would open a fresh gauze. When you open a fresh gauze, or when you open like a fresh like saline flush, it kind of smells like that. And you just add a little bit of like woodiness and a little bit of sweets, and that's what it smells like to me. I think that if you're going to spend that much on a perfume, you should really love it. If you really love this perfume, great. But also, I feel like this perfume has been duped so many times, not just by the original perfumer, who literally made like 1 or 2 other fragrances that smell exactly the same with a slight difference. I would swear like 90% the same for like a fraction of the cost. But also other people, like Ariana Grande Cloud, when you first spray it, smells a lot like Baccarat Rouge. Do I think it's a dupe? No, because it has like a dry down of like a coconut. But I don't actually personally like the scent. I have the Ariana Grande Cloud body spray. I bought the body spray before I bought the fragrance, just to see how it will my skin chemistry. And honestly, it's not that interesting. It smells like candy, like literally like a very Band-Aid-esque cotton candy. I just think it's overdone. I don't think it's worth the price. I don't think it's worth wearing. I think it's very common smelling at this point. There's better perfumes out there. The second perfume I think is just super overhyped is Livia Belle. I swear, every female I know in my life has had this perfume, or has worn this perfume, or currently wears this perfume.
Time to start your workday.
Good morning.
I've just returned from the 4th millennium to tell you it's pretend to be a time traveler day. Hopefully the creatures I was battling there didn't follow me back. Uh-oh. Look out! Pew pew!
Alexa is literally on drugs. I think Livia Belle it's just a very crowd-pleasing, patchouli, sweet, like floral fragrance. It's very basic. I hated it back in the day. I bought it for myself back in like 2012 or whenever it first came out. I tried wearing it. Honestly, I had bad memories tied to it, in addition to me not really liking the fragrance. I just think it's a very heavy patchouli, like sweet fragrance, and I think it's so overdone at this point. There's a million fragrances that smell like Livia Belle. Sofia Vergara by Sofia Vergara is one, and I honestly think that Sofia Vergara by Sofia Vergara is it's better lasting power. It's a little bit better, in my opinion, of a scent profile. It's like a quarter of the price as well. You can get a bottle at Walgreens for like 15 bucks, honestly. Well, but 1 ounce if you want to try it. But I don't know, you guys. To me, I just don't see the finesse behind it. Everyone says it's the most complimented fragrance on women. I honestly have never complimented anyone wearing Livia Belle, and I've never met a guy when I've asked him, hey, what's your favorite fragrance for women, who literally says Livia Belle. I honestly think too, when the fragrance came out, and kind of like the way that the years passed is like when Beauty and the Beast Disney version came out, and the French Beauty and the Beast came out, and like Beauty and the Beast was like a big thing, and Belle was a big thing, and so Livia Belle, I think that it was a good marketing, like, you know, thing to name it Livia Belle is because of Disney. I think a lot of people literally love it because Belle means beauty, so it's a great marketing tool in addition to the Disney film. However, I don't particularly like the fragrance. I think it's overrated. I think it's basic. I think that there's better out there as well. The third one that I tried that I think is just so overly rated, and then also recently, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, a lot of the links that I use below are obviously affiliate links. I think you guys would know this if you've been watching YouTube for a while. The website that I use for affiliate links, I was looking because of the different brands that they had there, just browsing. I don't ever like go and seek out a brand and buy something from that brand because it has like a high commission rate. That's stupid, and that's a stupid way to spend your money. So I'm editing, but I just had to say that when I go and get affiliate links. It's always for stuff that I'm going to recommend in the video. I don't shop. There's people I'm sure who do this, who go and look and see what's the highest commission, and then they go and like shop from that link or from that brand, and then they'll do a video on it. That's not me. That's not how I want to do my channel. I think that people are very smart. I think that I'm very smart as a viewer on YouTube. People can see through that. So like if you're making YouTube videos, honestly, my best advice is to be honest. Yes, use affiliate links if you want to. I don't see a problem with it, but literally use affiliate links to stuff you were already going to recommend. Don't go looking. Honestly, I was just curious to see who was on there because there were some things I was looking for and I couldn't find links for, and I was like, well, I wonder what brands are even on here. And that's when I saw this brand, literally very high rate, and it's been a very high commission rate for a while. Saw that Hugo Boss had a very, very, very high commission rate. And I was like, I wonder to myself, is that why people are recommending Private Accord? Because I've tried the fragrance and to me it sucks. Like, okay, Hugo Boss Private Accord and Hugo Boss fragrances in general to me are just very, very, very overhyped. I never in my life, even before making fragrance videos, have been interested in the brand. I always thought it was like not really like my type. It's not very classy. And so once I started watching YouTube videos and everyone was talking about Hugo Boss, like the scent, Hugo Boss Private Accord, I of course went to go smell them and try them out. And I can say they have poor lasting power. They're not very original. The only one that is original probably is Private Accord, but really like chocolate and orange. Like I'm pretty sure there's other chocolate and orange fragrances out there, and it's not that good in my opinion. Like the scent profile isn't really something I think that would be very good to wear on a daily basis, or that's very sexy, or that's very compliment worthy, or that would make me particularly feel like very elegant, very beautiful. So it's not like, to me, very good to begin with. But then you add in the fact that they last less long than a body spray. Literally, body mists from Bath and Body Works last longer than Hugo Boss fragrances. So to me, it's very overhyped, overrated, and now I'm questioning people who recommend it. So the fourth one to me is Armani C. So I love Armani Code Cashmere. I don't really, I mean, I've smelled the original Armani Code. It smells really good as well, but I've heard it has poor lasting power, which is why I haven't purchased it for myself. Plus, the scent profile isn't super interesting. But Armani C, to me, is just like a very basic, elegant white floral fragrance. It's almost a little bit dated smelling. And to me, I think that it's very overhyped as well. Like a lot of people say it's very sexy, it's very seductive, it's very femme fatale. I don't get those vibes at all from that fragrance. Like I get like a very basic office fragrance. Now for me personally, like that would have been a perfect fragrance for me to wear to work. But I'm no longer working in the hospital, so like it doesn't really matter like what I wear. I can wear whatever I want. But if you need a very safe office fragrance, like maybe it is a very pretty fragrance. To me, I just think like it's very overhyped. Everyone was talking about it. Every time I get on Facebook, I see an ad for it, still to this day. And I don't really think it's that interesting of a fragrance. And in addition to that, I don't think C. Pastillon was very good or very different even from the original. I don't think a lot of the flankers were all that great either. So I think it's just very overrated. And so the last one is basically, I don't want to say all of them, but most of the Juicy Couture fragrances. So I'm not somebody who can say, oh, I wore Juicy Couture when I was 15, 16, 17, 20, whatever, because back in the day, like I remember people were talking about these fragrances like Juicy Couture. I remember when I was like probably about 18 and I passed by a Juicy Couture, I think it was the Viva La Juicy fragrance in Kohl's when I was shopping with my mom. And I smelled it and I thought it smelled terrible. It was just very heavy, like kind of almost headache inducing. And then I noticed that the scent didn't last very long. So for me, even as a teenager, I was just like not into it. And I don't know, you guys, like literally, I don't think that the Juicy Couture fragrances are very worth it because they cost about the same as fragrances to me that are actually very good. And the only one I think that is actually an okay fragrance is Juicy Couture Viva La Juicy Noir. That one does have okay lasting power. I've had a little sample of it before. It's a pretty scent. I've considered purchasing it with the rest of them, like Gold, Viva La Juicy, the original, the Peace Viva La Juicy, like all the flankers that they came out with, all the different fragrances. To me, the bottles are tacky and they look very juvenile and they look honestly very 2011. They remind me a ton of like the Ed Hardy packaging and Jersey Shore, you know, it just reminds me of that time period a lot. And also, like, they're just, all of them are just very basic, sweet, either fruity fragrances or sweet gourmand fragrances that don't have good performance or lasting power. I think for the price, you guys, honestly, you could get a ton of other fragrances. I think even a lot of fragrances from Zara smell better, have more interesting scent profiles, smell classier, and smell more expensive than the Juicy Couture fragrances, apart from Viva La Juicy Noir, which I actually think is a pretty good fragrance. But yeah, to me, I'm sorry if you love Viva La Juicy fragrances. If you see my collection videos, you've noticed I don't have any Juicy Couture fragrances. It's because I just don't really vibe with the brand. Like, I never had a Juicy Couture tracksuit back in the day. I probably wouldn't wear one now, and it's just not. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I would also like if you guys would comment below of some underhyped fragrances that I should try, and also some overhyped ones that maybe I've mentioned that you don't like. Why not? And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.